Okay guys, so this is normal routine for me, just doing my brows and doing the eyes. So for this part, I'm just going to go ahead and blend out my concealer on my eyebrows, and I'm going to go ahead and add that same concealer on my mobile lids, blend it out with a blending brush, and I will not be setting it today because I want the colors to pop much more. So if I would add the powder would have decreased, making the eyeshadows pop more. So I'm going into the Zulu palette from Juvia's Place, and I'm taking that pink color and I'm using that as my transition shade today. Now you're gonna see here that one eye is darker than the next. It's because that brush has some brown powder on it, so that's the reason why the color looks a little bit off. I went ahead and I used the orange color from that same palette, and I'm going to use that right on top of that purple pink shade that I used earlier, and I'm going to blend those two colors together. The pink was a little bit too bright for me, and I just wanted to kind of cool it down, so I added that orange to kind of neutralize those colors. So we're just going to blend that out, make sure it looks a little bit more seamless than how it was looking earlier. All right, so next, instead of me using like a cream eyeliner, I'm actually using an eyeliner pencil, and it's much easier for me to shape out the to carve out the shape that I want for the body of the spider. So basically I'm just following the guidelines from my eyeballs. I'm using my crease area, and then I'm taking it out into the outer corner of my lids, and I'm just going to add that all over my lids. Now you're going to blend it out because the pencil, is still a little bit creamy, and whatever product you put on top of it is gonna stick. So you want to make sure you blend it out a little bit just to make sure that there's no harsh lines. And so after I've blended it out, I'm just going to go ahead and use a black eyeshadow to put on top of that black pencil just to make sure that it doesn't move. I want to make sure everything sticks and stays for a very long time. So I'm going to the Hypnotic palette from Shop Hush, and I'm using that black eyeshadow. I'm using that to put all over my lids where I added the eyeliner earlier. Alright, so after I've added that black eyeshadow, I'm just going to go ahead and go back into the palette and use that orange shade. And I'm just going to blend the black and the pink and the orange together because I don't want no harsh lines. I just want to make it look more seamless. So using the same orange color, I'm just going to go ahead and blend that out and make it look a little bit more appealing to the eyes. So next we're going to move on to face. I've already primed my skin. And so now I'm just going to go ahead and use my foundation. Well, that's the prime that I'm using right there. It's a Maybelline Master Prime, I think it is. Sorry. So yeah, after I've done priming my face, I'm using the CoverGirl foundation, and I'm using the shade D70. I love this foundation. I love the pigmentation. I love how it sticks. I love how it lasts. I will not be doing a review for this. I mean, everybody has reviews these days. Anyway, moving on. So after I've applied my foundation, I'm just gonna go ahead and use my l.a.girlpro conceal. I think this is in the shade beige or something like that. It's quite light for me, I know, but I wanted it to be that light because I want the spiders to pop on my face, and I wanted everything to look even, so I just added that color. Anyway, moving along, we're just gonna go ahead and blend that out with a beauty blender. And after I've blended those concealers into my skin, I'm just gonna go ahead and use my MAC finishing powder in the shade dark. So I'm just gonna go ahead and set that where I've used the concealer earlier. Now I use this color powder because it's yellow, and it kind of cools down that white cast looking color that I got from the concealer from earlier. So after I've allowed that powder to sink into my face a little bit, I'm just going to go ahead and add my all over face powder, and that will be the Maybelline Fit Me Loose powder in the shade 40. I'm just going to add that all over my face and make sure that everything is set. Alright, so moving along, I'm just going to be doing my contouring, and it is quite dark, but I wanted it like this because since it's Halloween, you want it to look a little bit more grungy and more, I guess, dangerous. So I'm adding quite a lot of contouring right here. And so this powder that I have in my hand that I'm showing you, that is the Black Radiance setting powder, and I'm just going to set right under my eyes just to brighten it up a little bit more. Look at all that powder. The powder is so soft. Yeah. Keep moving on. So after I've put that powder underneath my eyes, I'm gonna let it sit there for a while, and I'm going to let it bake. So we're just going to go ahead and move on to the lashes while that is sitting there. So I do have an eyelash tutorial. I will have it listed right on top here and down in the description box below for you guys. So after adding my lashes, I'm just gonna go back in, brush off that powder off my face, make sure everything is blended correctly, and then we're gonna move on to the eyes. I was so scared for this part, you guys. I didn't know if I was gonna mess up, but anyway, I had Aaliyah J's video sitting right by me. I had my computer on and I was looking at what she was doing, so I'm like, okay, Toya, come on girl, you can do this. So I basically follow what she said. You're just gonna use your eyes as the body, and then these legs that you're drawing here, of course, is the legs. So you don't have to make sure, you don't have to worry about the legs being straight or anything, because spider legs aren't straight. They're all crooked and hairy and all of that stuff. So the imperfections actually make it look a little bit more realistic. All right, so when you're drawing the legs, you want to make sure that the legs start at your lids, and you're going to draw out and draw back in. So you're going to see me draw out and then draw it back toward the inner part of my face, and you're going to see me for the ending of the legs, I'm going to draw this one inward and then draw the tail of the spider legs outward. And so for this one, you're going to do the opposite. You're going to draw it outward and then inward. So I'm just going to go back over these for a couple times, adding a couple layers of the black eyeliner just to make it more prominent. And that's why I added the light concealer on my face and all that powder, just to make sure that the black can actually show up on my skin and make it actually look like there's something on there. So using this palette here, this is Beauty Glaze. I got this from off of eBay. I'm using a dark brown and a light silver color like. I'm using those two colors to create the shadows on my eyes today. And those two colors work perfectly. So you're just going to go back in with those two colors. Now you want to make sure that the strokes are very light, and then you look at it, make sure that it does look like shadows. You're creating shadows there. And if it's too light, you want to go back in with something darker. If it's too dark, you just want to take a clean blending brush and just go over it, just to try to smudge it out a little bit more to make it less obvious. So what you see me doing here, I'm just joining the colors, creating the shadows. And you want to start from the feet of the spiders, the end of the tentacles, whatever you want to call those, and then you're going to draw it back to the body of the spider, which is my eyelids. And you're just going to go ahead and connect those two together. So I don't know if I'm explaining that right or if you guys are understanding, but maybe if you could mute out this part or just watch what I'm doing, you can understand a little bit better. So basically what Aaliyah was saying in her video, you can start with the tip of the spider legs, or if you want, you can start from the beginning of the legs, like closer from your eyes going down your face. So after we're done adding those shadows, we're just gonna go ahead and try to make prominent marks at the ending of the spider legs, just to make it look like there's a real shadow, or like the spider is actually sitting on your face. So you just want to take that same light brown powder that you created the shadows with, and you're going to emphasize by the tip of the spider legs. You're just going to make it a little bit darker. So after you've done all of this, you're going to go ahead with a white eyeliner or creamer or eyeshadow like I did in my video. I went into my contour palette. There was a white shadow that was there that I used to create my like the little spots on the spider legs. Anyway, I'm kind of jumping ahead, so let me keep quiet so you guys can watch and see what's going on.
history, yeah. Wherever love flows, there is also tragedy when we're in too deep. And you and I, we got history, yeah. Go look in the mirror, say, hey, I'm sorry for all the pain. I'm sorry for all the pain. Go look in the mirror, say, hey, I'm sorry for all the pain. I'm sorry for all the pain. Go look in the mirror, say, hey, I'm sorry for all the pain. I'm sorry for all the pain. My love, it grows with the memories like a symphony. And you and I, we got history, yeah. And when you're alone, do you say my name or you say her name? Yeah. My love, it grows with the memories like a symphony. And you and I, we got history, yeah.
All right, so now that we're done with the mirroring, let's go ahead and add that white powder. It's actually from my contour palette, so I'm just gonna go ahead and add the white onto the beginning and the ending parts of the tentacles or spider legs that we created earlier. So you want to create it at the beginning and at the end of the spider legs, or if you want, you can create them right where that little angle is, like what you see me doing here right now. So yeah, keep going, adding your whites. Now if you want, you can add more whites. If you want, you can add less whites. It's up to you. This is where you get creative. You just want to make sure that you have your base covered down, which was the spider legs. All right, so let's just go ahead and keep adding that. After we're done, just gonna go ahead and keep continuing with the face. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add my lashes. I had that drying for so long, the glue almost dried up on me. Anyway, so let's continue. She had some bright greens on her lower lash line, but I don't have that eyeliner, so I'm just gonna go ahead back into that same Beauty Glaze palette, and there was a beautiful turquoise green in there, so that's what I'm gonna add onto my lower lash line. You're gonna smoke it out a little bit. So I created two different lip looks for this tutorial. I created one, I was kind of going for what she had done on her page. I don't have a brown lip liner and I didn't have those products, so I just went ahead and used the ones that I have here. I'm gonna have them listed down in the description box. I'm gonna blend it out a little bit, and I'm gonna finish with my face, and I'm gonna add some highlight to my cheeks and to my cupid's bow, the middle of my forehead, and down the bridge of my nose. Check out yourself, girl. Yes. Anyway, so now we're just gonna go ahead and add the second lip option, which is full black lips. I'm just gonna line it up first to have a base, and then I'm gonna apply this NYX liquid lipstick in the shade black, I think it is. Anyway, I'm gonna have it listed down below. So that is the end of the tutorial. If you want, you can go ahead and set your face, but since the weather is kind of cool, you know, I didn't really add a lot of spray. I just added one spray, and that was just to make the look come together, you know, blend all of those powders and everything together so everything can look nice, neat, and set. So here we go. Look at her checking out herself. Yes, I did that. I think I did really good. I think I did really good. She's checking out herself. And that's the end of the tutorial, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.